for everyone who lives in the West, whether they are an actual Christian believer. There's something about the spirit of it. Christmas carols, when every year, and it's hard to pinpoint just what causes it. But there is a time when you first start hearing Christmas carols in stores, you think, my gosh, they're really trying to get you in the buying mood in a hurry, aren't they? But then the Christmas spirit does invade and envelop me. And I really do sense this, and I'll hear Christmas carols, or I'll hear hymns being sung, and I think, gosh, it really is Christmas. What a wonderful time of year. And so, yes, this is the high holy day and the primary feast of the Christian religion, and it's one that I continue to take great pleasure in.
I'd like to know, first of all, do you support Mr. Trump as president during the campaign?
Vastly better than his alternative.
Is that an anti-Secretary Clinton view, or is that a pro-President Trump view?
I would say it's about a 50-50 expression.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
So you've called him a sign of rising white consciousness.
I think that his electoral success reflects to some unmeasurable degree a recognition among whites. You can't walk by a cathedral. You can't go into an art gallery and understand any sense of what our tradition, our history is, if you don't understand at some level Christianity, whether you believe it or not. So this idea that some of people in the dissident movement, some of them want to turn their backs on Christianity, think that it's a universal religion that has helped poison us. I think there are many Christians now who are universalists in a very dangerous way. But Christianity was part of imperialism. Christianity was the religion of my ancestors who fought for the Confederate States of America. I think Christianity it does have in the New Testament passages that lend itself to that kind of self-destructive universalism, but Christianity itself need not be practiced that way. And I believe Christianity has been perverted and diverted in all kinds of ways, and things that are actually more powerful than religion itself. And it seems for those who blame the universalism of Christianity for our current suicidal tendencies, it's odd that the United States and the West have become increasingly suicidal as they have become less Christian. So it's difficult for me to blame Christianity. And as I say, it's so much part of our tradition, part of our culture, that I can certainly bear no hostility towards it. And I'm very, very comfortable in a church service. All of these things are exceedingly warm and friendly and comforting feelings for me. A group of young blacks. They must have been 9 or 10 years old, maybe younger. They were brought in on a kind of a field trip by this white lady who was hauling them around. And one of the black boys looks up at this very striking crucifix and says, "Who dat?" And I thought, good grief. This person is completely detached from my civilization. Who dat? Especially, you would think blacks, they have this reputation for being religious. Well, this guy came from some environment in which Christ on the cross was an utterly, utterly alien concept. It brought home to me that whatever our people as patriotic Europeans, whether they believe in Christianity or not, this is such a fundamental part of our culture and identity that I think to repudiate it is very, very damaging, and it cuts us off from so much of that's essential in our own heritage.
Mr. Taylor, Roof's manifesto says that he got his inspiration from your website and links to articles about what is characterized as black crimes against white people. Roof wrote, quote, "There were pages upon pages of these brutal black on white murders. I was in disbelief. At this moment, I realized that something was very wrong." Roof's stepmother said he had been affected by internet evil. So doesn't your organization bear some responsibility for what Roof was thinking?
No, he did not get inspiration from the council's website. He got information. And the reason the information was so disturbing to him is because the facts, the reality of the overwhelmingly black on white nature of interracial crime is something that is almost never reported It's in fact deliberately concealed.
But your website also says, quote, mixing races is rebelliousness against God. Do you really believe that?
Let's go back to the question of interracial crime, which is what influenced Mr. Roof.
I'm Jordan from the Yellow Brick Road. The reason we ask the question, is Jared Taylor an atheist, should be obvious to most people. But one striking thing is that he seems to avoid the question outright. He never quite just says, I'm a Christian that believes in God, and he never says, I'm a straight up atheist, or even, he doesn't even say agnostic. And those points are important when it comes to human behavior. It even becomes important in the scientific question, right? Someone's belief of God or not plays a role within someone's scientific beliefs. And in Jared Taylor's case, that would be genetics and behavior. Well, genetics plus environment and behavior, how people act. So let's knock down these three things, right? Atheism, religious, you say Christianity for his case. He seems to hold that in the highest regard. And agnostic. Those would be the three categories. So let's knock down agnostic first. In the view of, in the context of Jared Taylor's, view on the world and how humans behave. So let's take agnosticism. If I applied that to Jared Taylor and said, okay, Jared Taylor is an agnostic, that scenario would end up playing out as, what the fuck? You don't actually know what's going on. Like, you don't believe one way or the other, yet you're using strictly science to say that people behave this way, or people act this way, based on what you consider hard, solid science, which is genetics, and also the psychology of environment. Fair enough. But that would be thrown right out the door, right? You can't be agnostic and then also start saying people behave this way because of their genetics, right? There's a whole component missing. It would have to be strictly science. So let's move to the atheist aspect. Let's imagine Jared Taylor as an atheist. Free will. That's gone. Right? If he's gone strictly hard science on how people behave, which sounds a lot like what he says now, except for maybe certain people, his stance is already atheistic as far as how people behave, right? It's either your genetics or your environment. I don't hear him stepping outside of that. Not very much, at least not with other races. Maybe with the white race, he will step outside. He'll say things like spirit and white consciousness and things like that. But for other groups, I don't hear him say so much. But I don't know. Maybe I haven't heard enough of him. So yeah, if you take a hard science, atheistic stance on human behavior using just genetics and environment, say goodbye to morality, love, happiness, sadness. Those things are not real. They are chemicals in your body. They're telling you to feel a certain way so that it can push you forward to either reproduce or not reproduce, right? Basically, survival of the strongest, whatever the fuck that thing is. So, if you're a fan of Jared Taylor and you just want the hard science part and don't accept the rest, right? If he's an atheist and he gives you the hard science of genetics and environment as being the dictators of behavior, if you love someone, you don't really love them, right? Love requires choice. If you feel like you're a good person, or you're moral, or you know what a bad person acts like, throw that out the door. That's just genetics, or, that's just genetics or environment dictating to you. You had no choice over it. Can't have morality without choice. Whether you feel happy or sad, you don't really feel happy. There is no you there. There is no you there. It's just chemicals in your body that's telling your brain to act and feel a certain way so that you continue on reproducing. So if he's an atheist, remember, fans, that's the pool you lie in. And now for the last part. Religious. If Jared Taylor is a straight up Christian, I don't know which sect, but let's just say Christianity, then he'd have to believe in the Christian God, right? But then you have God giving down commandments, right? And you have God, and you have the book, the Christian book, talking about sin. You also have things like forgiveness. You have things like, I'm a little lost here. Judgment. God judging you. Forgiveness, judgment, sin, commandments, morality. Those all require choice. And there has to be an individual there to make those choices. Thus, your behavior can't be dictated by your genetics or your environment. There has to be some sort of other factor there that makes the overall choices. Thus, his conclusion on genetics and behavior would be thrown out the window. So if you're a Taylor fan, or even if, I doubt he ever will, but if Jared Taylor actually ever saw this video, he's caught in a little bit of a quagmire. And it's sort of telling. It would make sense for him to avoid the God question, or to avoid questions of spirituality, or even atheism, or agnosticism, whatever. Those should be avoided at all costs if you want to hold up these ideas, right? That's all I gotta say. Thanks.
Oh, it was that time of year again, man. So I went to purchase a tree. After I bought the tree, man, the guy said, Happy holidays, man. Oh, God. Ugh. My stars and garters, man. Oh, the audacity of it all. Ugh. Hope you have a white Christmas from the white nation. Keep your kids safe from the racist invasion. Low IQ spread like contagion. IQ number 2, but don't tell the Asians. Oh no, where did my culture go? Check their pockets, but my doctorate they know. Pin up their sleeves, bag of jeans and froze. It's heavy in their jeans, can't you see their pros? Don't worry, my fellow white man, the future is bright. Got other sort of humans up in my sight. My sword is worthy, but my pen is might. Just remember to buy my book for Christmas night.
1 milli, 2 milli, 3 milli stacks.
The black homicide is dead.
4 milli, 5 milli, 6 milli racks.
The black homicide is dead.
Show me a home and I'll show you a map.
White people took over all of that.
Try to take on my coin with an immigrant tax. No habla inglés, well you can head on back.
That's right. I said Christmas, not happy holidays, not Kwanzaa, Christmas. Yeah, remember the next time I walk into the side of the street and you'll be seeing the great white hope and you'll be thinking, who dat? Who dat? Oh. White man out.